Um, it was straight up like the memes that they were sending one another were like 9 gag memes, like really cringe. I wouldn't trust a thing that operative gave me to eat. I mean, if I die, we now know who is going to be responsible for it. The echo during the video was crazy. You should listen to it. Yeah, I don't care. Oh, God. That's devastating. Do you think there's any credibility to what she implied about the election? I mean, I didn't fully understand the details, but I think what Elon was probably talking about, if I'm being real, is that they were probably tweaking the algorithm. Um, anyway. Trump concluded his phone call with regional leaders regarding the Iranian proposal. He claims that an agreement has been largely negotiated, subject to finalization between the U.S. and Iran and various other countries as listed. He also claims that his phone call with Netanyahu went very well. Laura Loomer being Trump's duff because he looks almost normal next to her. All right. I am in the Oval Office at the White House where we just had a very good call with President Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan of the United Arab Emirates, Emir Tamim bin Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim bin Jaber Al Thani, and Minister Ali Al Tawadi of Qatar, Field Marshal Syed Asim Munir Ahmed Shah of Pakistan, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of Egypt, King Abdullah II of Jordan, and King Hamad bin Isa al-Khalifa of Bahrain. Concerning, dude, that is awesome. I love that he wrote with the honorific every single person that was involved in this conversation. That is so awesome. I would pay Trump to hear, dude. It would be a total gem if we had Donald Trump read this entire tweet. Pertaining, okay. Concerning the Islamic Republic of Iran and all things related to the Memorandum of Understanding pertaining to peace. An agreement has been largely negotiated, subject to finalization between the United States of America, the Islamic Republic of Iran, and various other countries as listed. Separately, I had a call with Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of Israel, which likewise went very well, my boss. Benjamin Netanyahu, the big guy. I like to call him Big Yahoo. Big Yahoo, I call him. Some people say he's the real president. Well, I say he'd be a great one. Final aspects and details of the deal are currently being discussed and will be announced shortly. In addition to many other elements of the agreement, the Strait of Hormuz will be opened. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Erdogan most probably didn't say those things, but it'd be very hard for a Turkish presidency to deny it. As we say in Turkish, if you spit upwards, it's the mustache. If you spit downwards, it's the beard. Yeah. Thank you, President Erdogan. President Trump is a leader the world has been awaiting for centuries. He doesn't just talk about strength, he embodies it. Why does he do this stuff? It's very funny that he'll just like, wait, he deleted the post? That's awesome. It's just like it. Here's the thing, okay? All the other presidents, all the other world leaders, they said they love me. They said, Mr. President, your peepee is so large. It's big, it's veiny, it's girthy, Mr. President. We love you. We love it. Don't we love it, folks? That's what they say to me. I say, why are you talking about my penis? Why are you doing it? My mom is watching. Uh-oh. Sorry. Also, apologies to Ashley St. Clair's mom as well. If she's still watching, you know, apologies. You can't help yourself, huh? Yeah. All right, Fars, latest news on the negotiation details. If the U.S. does not show flexibility, the negotiation will fail. This is from a couple hours ago. A knowledgeable source close to the negotiation team. Although the Americans have retreated from their initial approaches and accepted many of Iran's positions, there are still 3 serious points of disagreement that, if not resolved, the negotiation will not take place. First, the nuclear issue. Iran has announced that it will not enter negotiations on the nuclear issue in this round. Only if the other side implements trust-building conditions will the nuclear issue be discussed in the next round. Second, block funds. The block funds must be transferred. The second and fundamental condition for Iran to enter negotiations is that Iran's block funds are first transferred and released. Without this happening, we will not enter negotiations at all. Third, Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz. Another disagreement is over how ships pass through the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. insists that the strait must fully return to previous conditions, but Iran says it only commits to returning the number of ships to the previous status. The meaning of this is that Iran, with its own model, determines the number of ships allowed to pass and only permits as many as it accepts. This means that ships must pass under Iran's management and exactly through the route Iran specifies. So Iran is fine with reopening the Strait of Hormuz to previous levels of transit, but basically saying that the only way that you can get that is if you go through Iranian ports with Iranian control. Wouldn't this be a worse deal for the United States compared to JCPOA? Yes. No matter what happens, of course it's going to be a worse deal for the United States in comparison to JCPOA, because during the JCPOA, Iran had not maintained military control over the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran had not withstood American attacks and had actually survived American attacks, with the United States of America burning billions of dollars of assets, numerous radar systems, and also a shit ton of standoff munitions that they had in their stockpile for peer and near-peer adversaries. So Iran has a fuckload more leverage in this circumstance than they ever did during the JCPOA. As a matter of fact, during the JCPOA, the United States of America was coming at it with all the leverage because they had destroyed the Iranian economy, right? The JCPOA gave Iran something that they wanted, sanctions relief. And Iran didn't have much in exchange that the United States wanted, with the exception of enriched nuclear-grade uranium. The only way we know if this is finalized or not is if this New York Times reporting is correct. Once Trump's co-pilot against Iran, Netanyahu is now a mere passenger. Okay? Trita Parsi writes, breaking, Trump announced after having had phone calls with the leaders of Saudi, UAE, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, Bahrain, and separately with Israel, a deal between the U.S. and Iran, subject to final approval, has essentially been reached. If you were wondering why warmongers in Washington have been freaking out, it's because of this. Peace is their nightmare. A few points. 1. Trump knows he will be attacked for this deal. The regional anchoring of this deal is not only important for its viability on the ground, but it also gives him a degree of protection in Washington. Obama managed to get massive international backing for his deal, but limited the lukewarm anchoring in the region. Trump uses the Islamic Republic of Iran instead of just Iran, which will be noticed in Tehran. I didn't even actually pick up on that, but that is a fairly large concession. In an official communique, recognizing the Islamic Republic of Iran implies that you're no longer invested in regime change and you're invested in dealing with the existing government. Because that's the current government of Iran. Current government of Iran is the Islamic Republic of Iran. That's true. There are some other indicators that a deal might be imminent. I'm not going to believe it until I see it. But one of the major indicators is, what are Israelis saying about it? How much is Lindsey Graham hyperventilating about it? How much is Mark Levin hyperventilating about it? How much is, what is John Fetterman going to say when he finds out, when his handler tells him what to say? This is how we can arrive at whether or not a deal is imminent. Accurately predict whether or not a deal is imminent. Because, anytime the American side has come close to an actual deal or has moved the negotiations along in a more productive manner, you hear from these groups, their cortisol starts spiking. They start freaking the fuck out. They lose their minds. They get very angry. And they start talking about how Donald Trump is actually betraying long-standing peace by not destroying Iran, right? In summary, the two sides have not crossed the finishing line yet, but it is now visible and within reach. Let's take a look at some of our favorites now. Mark Levin. Houston, I think there may be a problem, Mark Levin says. Israeli officials say U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff is trying to secure an agreement at any cost and is the one pressing President Trump not to resume fighting, according to Israel's Channel 12. Let's be real. Donald Trump already lost, and Israel already lost. Iran won. It was an unambiguous victory for the Islamic Republic of Iran after the second week. One might even say that it was an unambiguous victory when the Mosaic defense system kicked in automatically in the aftermath of the decapitation strikes. That's it. You can cope, but I've been saying this basically since the 8th or 9th day of Operation Epic Fury, Epstein's Fury, Epic Fortnite Fail, whatever you want to call it. Because once Iran showed the United States of America that it was not going to stand down, and showed the United States of America that the regime was intact because they were fighting for survival. America was fighting for domination. Iran was fighting for survival. Iran won. And every day that passed, that Iran and the government was not falling apart, Iran was not destabilized, was a day where Iran was showing the rest of the world how much it was winning. What is this opening paragraph from Foreign Affairs? It has taken the Trump administration just 2 months to race through all 5 years of the Johnson administration's Vietnam policy, entry, escalation, frustrated stalemate, and negotiations. Now it's on the Nixon administration's turf. First blustery threats, then gradual realization of the need to extricate via an unsatisfying deal. If this pace holds, the intervention in Iran should be over in another few months, by which point the recriminations will have already begun. That is an incredible opening paragraph, and it is also 100% true. Look, all the agents, all the Hasbara agents are fucking chirping on the timeline. So perhaps a deal might be close. the more you hear panic from these groups, the more you hear panic from Emily Schrader, who is literally an agent of the state of Israel, right? Like Lindsey Graham, de facto agent of the Israeli state as well. The more they panic, the closer we might be to actually securing a deal here. Okay? As I've said over and over again for the past couple of months now, Iran had already won. It was up to Donald Trump to stop the bleeding, right? And the only way to stop the bleeding is with a graceful exit. And the more time that they spent on this tit for tat, this back and forth, the more time that they spent trying to do an additional blockade on the existing Strait of Hormuz blockade was just more hemorrhaging, more bleeding of confidence that people have in the might of the American military. What the fuck is this? Coke, Bert? What the fuck is this emote, bro? That's amazing. Wow. I've seen this one, yeah. Tylenol Bert is really funny. Why is this little Bert eating all the drugs, both legal and illegal? It's terrifying. It's kind of scary. Take the drugs away from little Bert. He loves drugs. And now he's doing scuba? No, this is a different kitty cat. Bert is a fucking drug addict, dude. Dr. Jihad would never prescribe cocaine to Bert. Anyway. Mark Dubowitz, the proposal is a bad joke. No serious American president, especially President Trump, would accept a deal that makes the JCPOA look brilliant by comparison. This regime has never been weaker, yet its arrogance is only exceeded by its grasp on reality. Oh my God. Chirp, 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 chirp. Tommy Vitor says the issue here is that guys like Mark pushed to start this disastrous war, and now Trump is left with only bad options to end it. But the neocons never pause to think, maybe the stupid regime change wars are the real problem. Dr. Jihad would never prescribe cocaine to Bert, okay? That's crazy. Maybe Tylenol, but not cocaine. I'm fine with Bert becoming autistic. There's a Fent Bert? There's a Fent Bert? The Hosberists are mad at Trump for failing to finish the war that they started. Yes. Because here's what it is. These guys don't have any care or consideration for the United States of America, and they don't even think about long-term prospects. They don't think about what happens to America if America perishes, what happens to Israel if America perishes. They are singularly minded. It's Enzig. They are only invested in increasing the violence to every regional entity and dominating the entire region, and specifically Iran, which is obviously the most consequential regional actor. they're not thinking about long-term consequences for the United States as far as force projection capabilities. And if the United States force projection capabilities diminish as it has, what that means, like how reliable of an ally they can be for Israel. They just wanted to expend all American munitions down to the fucking bone, as long as it meant destroying Iran. That's the whole point for them. That's why they're mad. They're not mad because Trump failed. They're mad because Trump stopped. From their perspective, they wanted Trump to keep going. They wanted boots on the ground. They wanted things that perhaps Trump was never willing to give. That's why they're crying. Once panic and desperation get near, they don't even try to hide their core belief that the overarching duty of the American president is to serve Israel. Yeah, America doesn't have the will. America doesn't have the military capabilities of continuing an operation like that. Because what is required at this point to do a real regime change in Iran is not just an aerial bombardment campaign. That much is clear, right? We've seen that. What is required is boots on the ground military warfare. And obviously America's not going to do that. There was a moment where I thought they would, but that would probably require political capital that Donald Trump doesn't have. Gas prices cooked the president, cooked his domestic approvals. And then outside of that, he already didn't have much domestic approval to expend regardless. Imagine trying to institute a draft in these conditions. Are you kidding me?
Able to attend, given that he's holding these meetings today. He did congratulate him, but said because of all of these conflicts, especially citing the war in Iran, that he would not be able to attend. Molly.
All right, and we are hopeful we'll get news of a breakthrough. Alex Hogan, thank you very much for keeping an eye on all of it for us. Hello, I'm Lauren Taylor. This is the Iran War Today, our daily briefing, which will...
Remember, our struggle continues, by the way. If you think it's over, you're wrong, okay? What's most likely going to happen now is once this part of the conflict is done, once they do a graceful exit, okay, they'll very quickly redouble their efforts in Cuba to try to secure. Lamau, have you seen those shitty content creators trying to say Tom Steyer paid you just for calling him the best we got in California's governor's race? Lamau, no, I haven't. But I think they forget I'm a fucking billionaire too. Why the fuck would I need another billionaire's money? I thought I was a billionaire already. I mean, look at me. Look at my suit. Look at my swag. Look at my enemies. My enemies are other billionaires. Only billionaires make enemies with other billionaires, obviously. Duh. Should have known by now. That's right. Don't ever say I'm a fucking broke boy. Why aren't you washing your face in that Saratoga? Who's to say I didn't beforehand? You're cheap like one, Lamau. If you had tailored that suit, it would be more believable. Okay, calm down. I think this suit fits me fine. It was funny how surprised she was when you told her you say no to all the sponsor deals and sell out. Yeah. Well, that's because the Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the people, for you, the people. Okay? Your subscriptions allow me to maintain my editorial control first and foremost, is what I care about the most. Right? That's it. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. My fucking mic is... My mic stand is broken again. I gotta fix it. Yeah. Please subscribe so I can buy a better mic stand. Okay? I need your subscription donos. I need your subs. So I can buy myself a fucking better mic stand. Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck? So goddamn annoying. Travel mic stand made of hopes and wishes? Not even, dude. Not even. Didn't Murat make that one? Yeah, and it fucking sucks. So what does that say about our top minds working in the field of engineering and aerospace? Harv Uka, thank you for the 50 bones. Nice. Why don't you move to New York personally? Can you catch a Knicks game? Unfortunately, the Knicks games are in Cleveland, the next two. So I'm not here long enough for the Madison Square Garden game. Chat was just as shocked as you are. Oh, barbarism critic, most interesting tea. Ashley St. Clair dropped, in my opinion, is that Chaya Rychik pays as stylist. $11K upvotes on this clip on Faux Moi this week. I tend to agree with this fellow more often than not. Hasan Talk, Trump is God for MAGA, which is the entirety of the Republican Party. He's no longer just a political figure. He's a deity. You have to look at the current modern day Republican voters as a cult. That's it.